Wobbles in the property sector are just one of a growing number of concerns about the Chinese economy. Businesses are being challenged by supply chain chokes and the power crisis, while the consumer confidence is also waning. And today, the country's central bank moved to ease the slowdown. It cut the amount of cash that banks must hold in reserve, in effect allowing the lenders greater flexibility when they extend credit to businesses. It cut the so-called reserve requirement ratio, or RRR, by half a percentage point for all banks. That's except for those that are already on the lowest level of 5%. The People's Bank of China estimates the cut will release at 1.2 trillion yuan, or $188 billion of liquidity into the system. But for a closer look on China's economic slowdown, Olivia Seong joins us live. Now, Olivia, at a time when central banks around the world are tightening monetary policy, why does the People's Bank of China feel that it is necessary to ease instead?
Well, certainly from the timing of this latest move and the statement that we've seen from the central bank, it's clear that authorities are concerned about the direction that China's economy is headed towards, and therefore it is moving to address the myriad of challenges that the economy is facing. This was signaled just last Friday by Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, who said that the reserve ratio cut would take place in a timely manner in order to support the real economy, especially small firms. And 3 days later, we see this move being announced. And this is the second time that the central bank is cutting the reserve ratio this year, increasing the amount of money being released for lending. And the central bank, in its statement, though, was very keen to reiterate its position that this is not a change from its prudent monetary policy, maintaining that it will not flood the market with credit or stimulus. Its statement also explained that part of the consideration was to increase the stable fund supply for financial institutions in the long run, and that financial institutions will also be guided to use this money in order to support the economy and small firms especially, which was what the Chinese premier had said. The central bank also explaining that part of its considerations was also to reduce the cost of financing for banks as well.
Olivia, this move comes amid concerns over China's economic stability.
That's right. There was just a high-level party meeting that was chaired by Chinese President Xi Jinping today, reported by state media, in which he said that moving forward, while it's important for China's economy to progress, it is also important that stability is maintained moving forward. And we do know the context here is that China's economy is slowing down. There are a few reasons for that. Its manufacturing sector is slowing with weakened demand, partly due to the ongoing pandemic. There is also concern about the health of the property sector, as you had mentioned earlier, headlining that Evergrande group with the property developer with its liabilities and concerns over a default and what that ripple effect could be moving forward. And there's also been concern about the resurgence of the COVID-19 virus here as well, and with the Omicron variant bringing uncertainty to this situation. China adopting a zero-tolerance approach, which has meant lockdowns, mass testing, and a huge impact on small businesses, which many have had to pause their operations in order to comply with regulations to bring infection numbers down as well. And these challenges are, even though China was the only economy in the world last year to see positive economic growth, but we do know that moving forward, it is likely that the Chinese government is going to set a lower economic growth target of above 5% for next year. That's down from the above 6% target this year. And we know that the IMF has also predicted that China will reach 5.6% economic growth next year. And so we see there are concerns about China's economy moving forward.
Well, thanks for that. Olivia Seong live in Beijing.